Hello, today we're going to go over the unit options for the new raid event. It's been said that the raid boss is green element, so that means he would be weak to fire elemental heroes. So you have a wide variety of elemental heroes from 3-star to 5-star. They're going to be useful versus the boss. You have units that are resistant to sleep, which it's been theorized that the boss will have a sleep effect due to his name being Hypno. So units like Carl, which should be fairly easy to pull, but assuming you haven't been able to pull any of these units, if all else fails, you can always just wait for the raid event unit, which will most likely have a sleep resistant node or ability that you can unlock using the mana node. Now for units that you might have right now, if you manage to pull any of these units, Carl, Ezalith, or even Eoi, I wouldn't recommend the healer since the last raid event healers weren't really useful as the boss had a weakening effect on heals, but these 3 units are safe to invest in. Ezalith being an obvious choice since she's 5-star and her effects are very good. She has a level 1 effect which reduces the raid boss's defense or the enemy's defense. Now if you're hitting them with unreduced defense, this increases the overall DPS of your entire raid. So she's a great support attack unit because of her second ability. She also has 100% sleep resistant at level 2, and she has an ability called Broken Punisher, which increases her damage to enemies in break states. Now a break state happens when a boss goes into overdrive, and once he's broken, the raid boss or any boss actually, any enemy with a overdrive meter becomes immobilized, as they usually just flail on the floor and are more susceptible to damage. So once a boss is in break state, any damage dealt will be increased to them, and Broken Punisher increases that damage even more. So it's kind of like critting a boss in a break state. If a normal increase, a Broken Punisher is like a crit passive then that increases their damage even more on a break state boss. She also has the ability called Flurry Deliberator, which increases the chance of inflicting debuffs. This works with her second ability, which is Brilliant Inferno, which applies a defense debuff to the enemy. You have Carl, who is a common unit. Assuming you've pulled him, he's also a support unit. His second skill increases the entire team's strength by 15% for 15 seconds at max level. His first skill does decent damage, almost for 100% on the multiplier. His co-op ability is really good. At max level, it increases Dragon Gauge fill rate by 11%. Now what Dragon Haste does is whenever you use an ability or attack with an auto, you fill your Dragon Gauge by dealing damage. Dragon Haste fills this even quicker, which is important because you can use your Dragon Transformation to iframe boss's attacks, such as assuming you're in a bad position and the boss attacks you, you can iframe it perfectly if you time it with the activation of your dragon ability. So once you transform in a dragon, you have a small iframe. Using your dragon skill also gives you a large iframe. You have Slayer Strength, which increases the strength by 4% for every 5 enemies defeated. This skill most likely won't be useful in the raid event since The last raid was you just dropped in and you just fought the raid boss immediately with no other units spawning around it. So this ability is going to be useful, I mean useless for this event. Sleep rest is going to be useful, as it's been said that the boss will inflict sleep on you. Having the ability to be resistant to it will allow you to keep up your DPS and have a smoother run. And HP 70% equals strength, increases strength by 8% when HP is 70% or above. That's a decent skill, but for a melee champ, I'm not sure how useful it is since a melee is normally in the heat of the fray. If this skill was on a ranged champ, it would be more useful. But on a melee champ, it's kind of a iffy skill. Assuming your mana not in any of these units. Let's say you just started when the raid comes out. I would focus on using your mana to firstly complete the skills. So using your mana on learning the force strike, the ability skills, especially the sleep rest, which is the main point of trying to use these units for the raid, will be more helpful than say getting plus 14 HP or even plus 11 strength early on. So assuming you're just starting and you are short on mana, unlocking the abilities over the stat boost will be helpful first. Now assuming you've been playing for a while and you're able to save up your mana in preparation for this event, which you should be. Let's say you've been playing for, or you're getting ready for the event, I would save my mana and farm the materials that you would need to upgrade any fire unit. Okay, so right here you can see you need flame orbs, blaze orbs, and infernal orbs and rainbow orbs, which can all be obtained from the flame ruins. You need flame worm scales, and okay, these scales can be obtained from the flame trials. So let's say you farmed all of these, you should save them in preparations for the raid. Assuming you have all these units except Ezalith, I would not immediately go right into upgrading them, because the raid unit is a 4-star dagger champion and she's most likely going to have sleep rest too. So if you saved your materials and your mana and immediately invest in her, as soon as she come up, she'll be ready in a second as soon as the raid is available. So she'll be ready to use the same day, as you've been able to farm all the materials needed for her. I would recommend stopping at floor 4 after you've maxed out floor 4. I would not go on to floor 5 for most of these champs, or most champs that you have, as the material needed, such as Champion Testament, is extremely rare and only obtainable by either pain or from raid events. So I would avoid using that for champions. 4-star champions and 3-star champions need something called Night Testaments, which is also only available from events, and assuming you pay, so you can either pay for it or get it from events. I would still save it, as the 5th floor is more of a I'm trying to completely max this hero because I like them, and for people who are trying to reach a new total might goal. So say you're really short of, you're just barely short of reaching a might goal, you can try to invest in the 5th floor to boost your might even higher. But otherwise I wouldn't recommend it, especially for a free to play player. It's just not worth it generally. That's mostly it for this event. So what you should be doing if you're a completely new player, I would farm up and invest in one of these 3 units if you've drawn any of them. If not, I would do what a more experienced player would do, and wait for the raid to come out and wait for the free raid unit to come out and invest in that instead. So I would just be farming flame ruins and the fire trials and gathering materials and gold needed, and also saving up mana, stacking up the total mana you'll need, and waiting for the character to be released. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment and like if this helped. Thanks.